In 1521, Martin Luther spoke his famous words of faith. "Here I stand, I cannot do otherwise." Today we continue to stand on God's word of hope. In this series, Here We Sing, for God's forgiveness in Jesus Christ has freed us in faith to do no other. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well and that you've been able to spend a little bit of time thinking about your posture since our last video. Today we're going to focus on your breath, both how it works and how you can work on your own to improve your breathing technique for singing. We'll start with a very basic explanation of what's going on in your body when you're breathing well. We all know that our lungs are in our chest, otherwise known as the thorax. Air enters our lungs through the trachea, which we sometimes refer to as the windpipe. In order for air to come into the lungs need to expand. When they expand, there's more space between the air molecules in the lungs, causing the air pressure in the lungs to lower, which creates a vacuum. And so air from outside the lungs gets sucked into that space to try to even out the air pressure. So all you have to do to let air into your lungs is allow them to expand. So, what makes your lungs expand? Contrary to what some may think, your lungs can't expand on their own because they're not made of muscle. Of course, God didn't leave our lungs in the lurch. He attached a muscle to the lungs called the diaphragm that can do all the work. To get a mental image of the diaphragm, imagine an upside-down bowl just below the lungs. That's what the diaphragm is shaped like after you've exhaled or sung a phrase of a song. The lungs are pushed up somewhat and become smaller. Then, when it's time to inhale, the diaphragm lowers and flattens out like a trampoline, taking the lungs right with it and pulling them open and creating that air pressure lowering space. And in rushes that life-giving oxygen that is going to keep you alive. Then, when the diaphragm relaxes, it goes back up into that upside-down bowl position, causing you to exhale carbon dioxide and potentially serving as the power source for your singing. So all you have to do to breathe well is to allow the diaphragm to move up and down. Well, of course, there's another problem. You can't see, touch, or in any way feel or directly control your diaphragm muscle. Well, God has that one figured out too. The diaphragm muscle is attached to other muscles that you can control. In this video, we're just going to talk about one set of those muscles, namely your abdominal muscles. Here's how it works. When your abdominal muscles move away from your spine, this is your spine, this will be your abdominal muscles. When your abdominal muscles move away from your spine, the diaphragm moves down, the lungs expand, and the air comes in. When the abdominal muscles move in toward your spine, the diaphragm moves up into that upside-down bowl position, and you exhale. And if you're singing, you can then give a healthy dose of breath support to your voice. Okay, that's enough physiology for one day. I want to give you just one easy exercise to work with this week. But you can do it in a couple different ways. Even if you feel like this exercise is pretty easy for you, I would suggest lying down on your back, putting a book on your belly, and breathing in such a way that the book goes up a little when you inhale and comes back down when you exhale. Your shoulders and your chest shouldn't really move at all. I would suggest inhaling for 4 counts, either through your nose or silently through your mouth, and then exhale for 6 to 8 counts, using a shh sound, or blowing like you were lightly blowing out a candle. Then you can do the same exercise standing or sitting using that great posture we talked about in the last video. If you'd like, you can put one hand on your belly to take the place of the book. To make sure your shoulders and chest aren't moving up and down, you can also put your arms out in front of your body during this exercise and watch that they aren't moving up and down. If you see them moving up and down, you know that you're getting some movement in your shoulders that you don't want. Don't be surprised if you find yourself more relaxed after a few repetitions of this exercise, and if your blood pressure goes down a few points. By the way, we use this kind of belly breathing when we're not thinking about it or when we're asleep. So if you ever have the opportunity to observe a family member or even a pet while they're asleep, it can be a little creepy, but also very informative to watch their belly while they're asleep. You'll see it functioning exactly as I've discussed today. In our next video, we'll give you a few more breathing exercises you can work on at home, but just enjoy the calming effects of this one for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And I'll see you next time.